So what got you interested in coaching?
Um, I've been playing the game for call it 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I love the game, despite all its flaws. I love the game. Just I don't know, man. There's a lot of games where I feel like this is everyone's experience. You feel like you're doing the most. You're deadlifting, you're carrying,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's everyone else's fault but yours. But
Yeah.
obviously it's not. So I just want to like kind of get a better understanding of like when I'm in those situations, like it there are things I can be doing better. So
Sure.
I just want better insight into that.
Sure. Sure. Absolutely. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Um, how long you been playing the game?
So right, when Echo came out
Yeah,
and the
I remember
content, yeah, that's
2019, I
about when
think,
I started playing, right when the content
or
drought started.
2020 or early 2020, something like that. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It's all your fault then.
Yes.
Ah, I knew it. Screw you, man. Those were dark days. Those were
Yeah.
dark days.
That's right when I started.
Okay, okay, okay. Quick question for you. Do you have a code for me? Because the
Yeah,
patch
got
yesterday
one.
wiped it all out.
Yeah. So while I pull that up, can I just give you a quick 30 seconds? So
Please. So I was gonna go through the
let
form
me
anyway. I just want to make sure the code worked because I'm a little paranoid first.
okay. Yeah, I think that code's probably dead, but so just a little about like my experience and typically how I play is so I have a cousin. He's also a big fan. He's a sub of yours. You guys, he was in your like live coaching pug thing last week. But
Okay.
anyway, we duo a lot.
Sure.
And right
Who's your
around
cousin?
that, his name is Crispy Fry.
Aha. Yes, I know. Chris.
Yeah.
Support player.
Um,
Well, no.
he,
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah,
is a
yeah.
support
Yeah,
player.
yeah. Popping up.
So
Okay, go ahead.
right around when that the big SR inflation started happening,
Yeah.
Chris was like grinding, like really, really like I was playing, but like Chris was putting in hours, and
Mm-hmm.
he actually hit GM. He's since fallen back into Masters, but like it has created a big like he would typically be my support duo, but now it's been I can't hold my own in those GM Masters games. So
Yeah, of
typically
course.
now, the last like call it 6 months or whatever, Chris has been off rolling as my duo.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I have two codes where Chris is off rolling, and that's kind of a better representation of what my games typically look like. But
Sure.
then I also have two other ones that are not with him.
Okay,
So
sounds good. I mean, I'm pretty flexible, close game. We can talk about it in a second, but as long as you've
okay,
got updated codes post patch, then we're
I
good to
do.
go.
Let me give you. How do I share? Let's go. Let's go the Route 66 one.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm
I'm
going
just
to
looking
give
through
you
your
a
form.
code.
8 hours of sleep, nice.
Yeah.
Goals, high diamond and masters. Understand why I'm losing matches. What can I do better? Okay. Hero pool and rank, ball and sigma, but flexible into almost all tanks. Yeah, talk to me about your hero pool then.
Yeah. So, I mean, Sigma was my first. I just put code in chat, by the way. Sigma was my
Perfect.
first like hero, and that's like who I played in Overwatch 1. That's who I started in Overwatch 2 with. But I've typically been recently trying to shy away from him because I really like mobility. Mobility is
Yeah.
super important in this game. And a lot of times I feel he can anchor a point, but like when you need to make shit happen, a lot of times I feel I have difficulty doing that on Sig. So I've been Ball is definitely a comfort pick. I just feel he's very flexible. Um, and I've also been playing a lot of Diva this patch. But
Perfect. Okay. Okay. That's
so
not
those are the big three, but I'm pretty flexible
okay, good. I
overall.
would stick with this big three, especially at your rank. Just finding ways to just really master the details of those characters, because I think three
Yeah,
heroes, especially like Ball, Sig, Diva, you got something for everything, right? I don't
right.
think there's going to be a lot of situations where any of those are going to be really bad. What is your playtime looking like right now? How much are you playing per day?
So I was typically playing like an hour, maybe two a night, but I have a pretty active life outside of Overwatch,
Mm-hmm.
so I've kind of been slipping the last couple of weeks. Like I hadn't played like a week and a half probably before last night, just with I had a bunch of stuff going on personally.
Okay. Okay. Makes
Um,
sense. Because that's
so
the
it's ebb and
biggest
flow.
obstacle for a lot of people improving is mindset, and then also consistency with training. So for
Right.
you, an hour or two is certainly enough to, I'd say, definitely get to diamond. I think, but
And I
obviously
have been diamond, I just can't stay
consistently,
there.
right? So consistently diamond, and I think that's definitely something that I would be looking into, and making sure that those, like, how are those hours spent? Like, let's say you were to get on the grind set. What would
Yep.
that look like? An hour or two consistently per day?
Yeah, it'd
Competitive?
typically be the last thing I do. Like Overwatch is the last thing I do in the day before bed. It's like I'll typically get on, play a quick play game, maybe two quick play games as a warm up. Probably play two, three, maybe four comp games and call it a night.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. I think that's probably fine. I try to limit it to like one quick play game if you can.
Okay.
But just basically getting to the point as fast as I can.
Yeah.
Um, okay, and then ball, sig, diva. Consistently trying to aim for a little bit of play every day, if possible. If you can't play consistently, I mean, that's fine. We can definitely work at things in game. Like, let's put it this way: if you're not able to play consistently, you're going to have to limit your expectations, right?
Right.
However, if there's some things that we can at least give you to think about in game, even with an inconsistent schedule, I think it could get a little bit better. You know, I think it can get a little better. I think it's reasonable. So let's take a look here. So, any questions so far?
No.
Do you have any questions specifically about like playtime, training schedule, structure, anything like that?
I don't. I mean, I watch all your content, so I see the
Good.
coaching you give to everyone else.
Good,
So.
good. So you already kind of have a general idea of what to be aiming
Right.
for. Okay, good. Okay. What do you feel is holding you back from improving understanding of the most optimal play at all times? Elaborate, please.
So like for example, one thing I tend to run into a lot, particularly on ball. One thing you always talk about is like target priority. So it's like going after backline, creating space. And I'll feel very, very, very often, I'll be like, I'll have three people turning for me for like extended periods of time, call it 30 seconds or something like that. I turn around, it's like my whole team is dead and they're like complaining, like, we don't have a tank, we can't get past their tank. It's like, I feel like I'm creating 4v1s, 4v2s, and just
Right.
stuff isn't happening. So
Right.
I'd like some insight into be like, maybe I shouldn't be going backline there. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Just
Yeah,
like
sure. Okay. We'll take a look. I mean, the thing is that, like, you just have to understand, try to understand what it objectively is going to be the best play the majority of the time. The thing that's always very flawed, because I get that question a lot. But if you think about it for a second, whenever I go for their backline, their tank just kills my backline. Therefore going for the backline may not be the play. But hold on. What do you think the enemy tank is doing?
right.
You know,
Right.
so that's kind of like where you have to kind of figure out, like, all right, well, is my tank better at beating their tank? And if the answer is no, then you have no option but to go for the backline, but to do it better or to time it better or whatever. And also just to understand that there's just going to be a certain percentage of games where your team is just going to be morons. And I think it's also just understanding that, like, your team might not be morons. They might just have an off game, right? That on a miss is a sleep dart. That could be the difference between what you're doing working out and it not working out, right?
Right.
You know, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Any questions? Because I don't have a whole lot.
No, I'm ready to get into it.
Okay, so for code, what I will prioritize is something that recent that you remember, which is a given considering the patch was yesterday, so I think we're good there. But also something that's going to answer questions for you. So if you have a match where you're like, I wasn't sure what to do, or I felt like, even if you win the match, but there was just like, there's some things that I wasn't really sure what was best.
Yeah,
That's
I
more of a
mean,
priority for
I
me.
put one code in chat. That's a game with my cousin that I mentioned. It was overtime, like skin of our teeth victory. Like, it was way harder than I felt it needed to be. So, I think that would be a good one.
Perfect. Let me get the stream going here. And is this Diva all the way through, or do you do a little bit of switch?
No, I think I come out on Diva, and then I think I play one life on Diva.
And then you're on Ball.
Yeah.
Ball. Perfect. Okay, so we will stick with the ball then. What made you go Ball? Or Zen Widow?
Yeah, and also I'm getting like crazy bad res right now. Okay, it's getting better now.
Give me it's the bit rate. So
yeah, it's better now.
Let me just check that. Well, it's better now because nothing's happening right now. So here's what we'll do. We'll give it like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Sure. And if it's still really, really bad, I might have to start and restart again. Give me 1 second. Okay, go ahead. You were going to say something.
Yeah, you asked why I went Ball. Biggest answer, he's a comfort pick. He's probably my best hero. Answer B, you're running Widow. I can apply pressure on you. I can apply pressure on Ana. Just play around cooldowns.
Sure. Good
Zen
map for
is
ball
double
too.
edged. Yeah, it's also a good map for ball, and then Zen double edged sword there. Um, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Let's take a look really fast here. So finding ways to get onto those supports, getting onto the. I mean, honestly, even Junkrat is like pretty good. Like Trap is
Yeah.
obnoxious, but like you slam a Junkrat, he's got a pretty fat hitbox.
Yeah.
He's gonna
He
die here.
he he opens up getting my number these first couple fights.
Yeah.
But then I start to turn the tide on him towards the end of the
Yeah,
match.
yeah. So reset here. I mean, this is what you want, right?
Right.
This is what you want. You know, find a sneaky way to get onto this Widowmaker. I mean, you don't even have to use an ability on her. Her head's so fat. And you're full HP. They don't even know you're there. Your Tracer's in. Your Kiriko's walking forward. This is what I would describe as a teeny bit early, but I think you can get away with this. Nice. Did you see a recent ball review I did of a Masters ball about 3 or 4 weeks ago, maybe a month ago? I think we played. It was live coaching. Did you catch that?
I don't know.
You don't? Okay. So one of the things we talk about is the importance of downtime for uptime with ball. And this is a great example of that right here, where you go a little bit early. Yeah. But what you do is you basically say, hey, watch out. I'm here. I'm threatening you. There's Discord. There's Widow spam. There's Harmony. And you just dip out of sight.
Yeah.
And they give you attention. They keep giving you attention. But then because they're giving you attention, this then opens up your DPS or your support, actually, same thing, to shoot them for free and get the kill. And then when their attention relaxes and they get distracted again, then you go back in and finish them off.
Yeah.
You see that? It's like if you just stayed there and shot and shot and shot, that's when you would have melted you like butter.
Right.
But you kind of, like ducked out and then went right back in again. That's what ball does. And that's also like a good way to use your shields too, because your shields regenerate. You duck behind a wall, shields regenerate. Have you felt the reload change much?
I'm very happy to see it because his reload time, in my opinion, can be a little obnoxious.
Agreed.
I have this bad habit of starting manual reload, going into ball form like halfway through it, and then getting out of ball form before it finishes. So then I end up doing like a 5-second reload. Yeah, it's a bad habit of mine.
Too early. Responsive. Let the this is gonna sound like think like a predator here, right? You're going for the underbelly, you know. Let him come out a little bit. Let him come out. You're fine. Let him come out. Be that much of a better position to actually follow up and get good value on the slam. That being said, if you are going to slam frontline, disengaging and then going back in is pretty good.
Crap again.
I mean, this guy's really got your number. You were kidding.
Yeah.
There it is again. Good use of your downtime. You could probably just drop mines here. Slam is good. Get out. See, this is where, like, again, like, you got to think about what does this actually provide right here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This does nothing, right?
Yeah.
You're losing HP. He's got Nemesis form active. He's got Annihilation active. Just roll away. Reset, go shoot and slam, let your shields regenerate, get a little healing from your Kiriko, and could disengage again. So it's like the downtime for uptime. Because what's going to happen is then this is going to happen, and then you're going to have to really roll away. When right now, what should you be doing right now?
Yeah.
Uptime. You know? Uptime, right? So you get a little bit greedy with your uptime, and then that causes massive downtime. Or will kill you. Obviously, it forces shields as well, so that sucks too. Good. That sucks. Literally. Thank you. Take your all evening. And then here, you know what I'm gonna say here, right? So, oh no, I got sucked. Oh crap, you know. You see the problem here, right?
Junk.
Well, not even just the target priority here, right? Obviously the Junkrat, but also stop shooting. right?
Yeah.
Stop shooting as soon as he goes Nemesis form. Get out of here. Run away. If anything, shoot him from a distance, right? Or reset up and do more damage, because once again, uptime for downtime. You get smoked, that's going to force adaptive shields, and you're never going to be able to, like, you're done. The rest of this fight is over, as far as you're concerned. You will do nothing this fight. Oh, well, maybe you'll get pocketed. Yeah, I knew it. I never doubted for a second. Not even for a second. You kind of see what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah.
Find where your uptime is most impactful and lean into that, even if it means a little bit less quote-unquote total uptime, because it's going to make the quality of your uptime so much higher, and it's going to reduce the number of times where you have to just completely disengage in the middle of a fight because you're 5 HP.
Right.
Good. Good timing, good placement, looks good. Turn on that Kiriko. Now, should you shoot this Kiriko? This is a
I'd
tough
say
question.
yes, but
Why?
if to force Suzu or
Sure.
just force cooldown.
It's a squishy, right? It's good damage, right? It's not a Ramatra. It's not a Ramatra Annihilation, so shoot the Kiriko. Now, what if this was an Ana?
She probably is. This fight is just starting, so she just has sleep. So I would not really hard engage that.
Right. So you would maybe, if you're going to slam here, you'd immediately grapple out again.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then go for it again afterwards, right? But this is a Kiriko. So actually here, the funny thing here is you don't even try to shoot this Kiriko, and that's a mistake.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I think she ends up TPing like instantly, right? But you didn't know that. What if she doesn't make her TP, right? Make her TP. Then you're good to go. Roll. Good. Good. Shoot. Now, I would be very careful here about whether that Cassidy is looking at you or not. But yeah, I think this is fine. Because that's another one, uptime for downtime, right? If you get hit by a Cassis grenade, you know, you're cooked. This is good. You start to run out of bullets. The Kiriko runs behind a shield. What do you do now?
I think I roll through the Kiri, try and chip her a little more.
Perfect. And you're not going to take a lot of damage for that either.
Right, and there's a Mega in that back roll through.
Yeah, good. My problem here, I think this fight's pretty much lost no matter what you do. But obviously, it's kind of funny because you really want this slam. But watch what the slam costs you.
Yeah.
Right? So it means that you're able to get the Mind Slam, but you're unable to get any follow-up off of the mines. Whereas if you dropped mines, repositioned, and then had your roll, I think you probably save about 250 HP there. So then maybe you're able to follow up.
I'll tell you, in my mind, I'm thinking if I don't stall right now, they're going to get the point.
Sure. I guess what I'm saying is maybe there's times where this kind of stuff is okay, but you got to know when it's okay and then you got to know when it's not, right? So maybe that one you had a very specific logic reasoning behind why you go for it, but you need to also see the downside so you know the cost.
Right.
So like right now, slam. Uptime for downtime. Not only target priority here, but uptime for downtime, right? Or downtime for uptime, I guess would be the way of looking at it, right? So, slam, go for that cast, right? Go for that cast. If he's low enough to be able to SMG him down. Oh my goodness gracious! You need to purchase some lottery tickets. I'm thinking, because surely that your bad luck is counteracted elsewhere.
Yeah, it turns around on the defense.
Now, this is really good. Downtime for uptime, right? Just maybe not executed perfectly. What's the plan here?
Just bunch of roll through. If they turn, I can mine or shield.
Right. So maybe not even then. Just roll through. What do you think this cast is going to do? What do you think this Junkrat's going to do? Nade, right? Mine, whatever. Yeah. Roll through. Don't bonk your head on the corner here. Just roll through. Go up here. Do a little bit of shooting maybe, and then slam, do it again, right? You'll force the abilities that you needed to get out. You roll through. A little bit of shooty, force the fade, slam. Maybe would roll out the other direction here. So once you go here, slam here, and then maybe roll out to the back line, maybe? Yeah. Just so you have a better angle onto the squishies here.
Yeah.
But I think this is pretty good. Wouldn't be shooting here. Roll. If anything, just... Oh, no. Downtime for uptime, right? Not worth it. Good. Spin to win. Good. Now, again, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna tell you when it's good, and you tell me when it's bad. Is this good?
Yes.
Spin to win. Is this good?
Yes.
Is this good?
No.
Well, the start of it was, right? Because who were you shooting here?
The Moira.
The Moira. So what did she use?
Fade.
So then, is this good, right? Obviously.
No, you got it.
No.
You gotta, yeah.
Nah, you're gonna get melted here because you're a Junkrat. There's a Junkrat behind you. They're gonna start spamming you. You're not gonna do enough damage here. Like, you're gonna find times. It's not that shooting tank is bad, right? I run into the same problem with Diva players, right? Where they sometimes get the mindset that shooting tank is bad. If you're able to take like an angle here and shoot this guy right here, you'd shoot him, for crying out loud. You got good damage, right? He can't touch you. But it's always like what is also shooting me at the same time, right? And am I gonna win that HP trade? And the answer is just flat out no. And so all it takes is one of those Junkrat grenades to hit you. Now you get lucky and they don't, but one of those Junkrat grenades to hit you and you're kind of cooked here. Okay, what should you do now?
Probably go right side mega. Maybe probably force junk out.
Sure, you could. You could also what? Think of something greedier and more immediate value.
Roll through Cass.
Yeah, roll right through the Cassidy. Downtime for uptime. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do?
I guess here's. I'm not trying to argue with you, but I'm trying to understand. Like, in my experience, when I do stuff like that, we just lose all frontline presence, and we like the rest of my team just gets ran over. So like, that's where I struggle with that decision.
Sure, elaborate a little bit. I know we talked a little bit about this already, but
so like, let me just say, like, those guys, Grumpy, Monk, and Joshy on my team, they were randoms. They both had like 20 deaths a pop. Like, they're just feeding. So like, I just felt like I had to have so much uptime. So maybe I was compensating, but like, I just felt if I rolled through, like, their Ram is just gonna walk on us, pop Nemesis. My DPS are dead. I don't know.
Why are you rolling through Cassidy? What's the purpose of that?
To draw attention.
Okay. And to isolate the Ramonja theoretically. But what attention are you going to draw? So I want to go back. Like, what is the Cassidy going to do when you roll through him? And
he's going to turn. He's going to nade. He's going to shoot me.
There. So he's going to nade. He's going to shoot. You're going to avoid that in theory, right? So what does that mean for you?
That can't be used on the rest of my team.
It also can't be used on you because once you roll through, what's the next step?
Shoot him.
Okay. Well, now he's used nade and shoot, right?
Yeah.
So then what's the next step? 5 seconds from now, 3 seconds from now. He's used the ability that's going to ruin you, right?
Yeah.
So now what can you do to him?
Hard engage.
Hard engage. Right? The reason why we're talking about this downtime for uptime thing is not because, oh, you need to be a little bit more cautious and careful and carry your life. The reason is I want you to bait these abilities and force these abilities and play with the enemy's attention until you get an opportunity to kick their teeth in and then to do so aggressively. That's why. Okay. So when your example there is you're like, oh, the Ram's going to run my backline. Yes, that is definitely a threat. But you see, that Ram also has to worry about Sleep Dart and Nade and Torb E and Kiriko Suzu, right? You both have to find ways to bait and play around those abilities. And so what we're doing is we're thinking about how can you play around those abilities? How can you bait attention and then find opportunities to go hard engage? You see what I'm saying? Okay. It's the same mentality for both tanks. So like right here, you can slam and kill this Junkrat. My concern though is that, or this, I guess this Cassidy, is that are you going to get hindered? You know, are you going to get, you know, faded or Suzu'd or something like that? That would have been avoidable to have the same level of kill threat with less of the risk. That's the difference there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. It's all about killing people. Like you want to kill that backline, but it's about doing so with as high of a percentage chance of it actually working. Like right here, this works. Why? Where's her fade? Well, she's an idiot. Okay, so that's the number one thing, right? But in theory here, in theory, your minds should have or could have forced that fade.
Yeah.
Which then allows you to laser this guy down and get the kill, right? In theory. Good. Good. Now she can die. You see that? Now she can die. Now will she or not? I don't know. Well, yes, she did. There you go. Nice. Like, you're a freaking amazing 1v1 hero versus squishes. But there are some abilities that make your ability to 1v1 very, very difficult. So your challenge is, how can I force those abilities, look like I'm committing, but not actually lose a lot of HP and not actually die for it. That's the challenge. Like right here, just shoot him. Just shoot him. Look for a slam, maybe. Look for a grapple.
I think I'm out of there.
Yeah, that's fine. Grapple. I would be staying on that squishy. So once this slam comes out, you see Suzu. You either pursue, or you either do one of two things. You either pursue in that Kiriko, or you execute the soldier. One or the other. And I do think there's a lot of opportunities here also for like a double boop. So you grapple here. You know how to do the double boop, yes?
I'm pretty inconsistent with it. But...
I would be practicing it more, because there's been a couple of times already in this VOD where a double boop would have given 3 damage. Grapple here, boop, hold the grapple, boop again, right? Like a perfect opportunity right here, and especially good versus this hero. Why?
Out of his healing pad?
Out of his heal station, right? Big opportunity for you here. But you grapple too high for it, right? So the grapple pulls you away from him. I mean, this fight's pretty much lost. Well, you know what? No, you're gonna get a huge slam. I know it. And then you're gonna get mines. Oh, that's
he put the thing on the cart.
Yeah, this guy is the Houdini.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you seeing so far? Obviously, we've just really started here, but what are you seeing so far?
There's been a couple times where shot ram when I shouldn't have. There's been a few times where having engaged when there's too many resources, like engaged and stayed.
Yes.
When,
yes. Do a drive-by, you know? Bait, put damage out, but nothing, just mostly just to bait attention, right? Keep going.
Right. And also just a ton of, I've been in traps a lot.
Yes.
But that is an adjustment I make on the
Good.
the offense here.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. And then in terms of tech, I would look for more opportunities for that double loop. That's what. See, the thing with techs is, like, a lot of them with like Ball and Doom are niche, but they're important enough that they will get you a couple of kills every game that you play.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is you need to go into, like, for example, like you could roll out right here, no pun intended, and be like, I'm going to look for double boops, and you force it and you feed, because you do it in a lot of circumstances where it doesn't make sense, but that's good because you need to practice the tech on real people. And so what you do is you'll start to practice knowing when it's good, knowing when it's bad, but at the same time, even when you're doing it when it's bad, you're still practicing the tech, right? Like right now, double boop opportunity, right? Shoot a little bit, grapple, boop, boop, right? Will it land? Will it be perfect? Would you go for the Kiriko instead? I don't know. But this is an opportunity for it, right? Roll out. Now again, do you kind of notice because you quickly rolled away, you didn't lose any HP for that? Now go back in. No comment.
I think that's a fail.
Okay. Still get the kill though. That's all that matters. Nice. Roll away. Reset. You see how you regenerated a little bit of HP there just from your healers?
Yeah.
A little bit of a fail. Still the right idea though.
Juked me out.
That's okay. They gave up on the Zenyatta. You won. You're not allowed. They're not allowed to play the heroes as they want. Worthless.
I'm trying to prevent the touch.
Oh, they're gonna get the touch. There's no stopping that at all.
Yeah.
100% unstoppable.
Or at least drain resources, so they're
But they're draining your resources too.
Yeah.
You see that? You only do that if you win that resource trade with what you're doing. Like, let's say if you were to, like, go for their spawn and, like, slam the Hanzo, and they use Sleep Dart and Nade, and you just, like, rolled away laughing, right? That's draining resources. Shooting a Ramacho to bait a Nemesis form that, honestly, he didn't even need to use. He could have lasered your head, but you lose your grapple, you lose your HP, you lose your positioning. It's probably not worth it. That being said, hindsight's 2020, and so I think that was perfect. How this works. If it works, it was the right play. There you go. That was smart. Little bit of. It's expensive HP wise, but it got Sleep Dart, right?
Right.
So then now, you have a few seconds. If you had the opportunity to hard commit, you don't get the opportunity to because they back up. But there you go. Set up, stage. Let's go. Kill that backline. Another double boop opportunity, right?
Yeah. Yep.
The grapple's a little deep, but you could definitely hold this grapple here. Grapple, bam, bam, she's off the map. And that's so much sexier than what just happened there. What should you do here? This is a tough one.
I would shield this and stay on Hanzo.
Yeah, I think so too. I think because you got a nice slam on Squishy, now you might lose a lot of HP for this, but you have your shield. I think it's probably worth it to shoot. Oh, no. Oh, wait, we're good. Good. As soon as you start to lose some HP. Nice. You win the Mega. A little bit of a goopy grapple. I would just be rolling away here. So mostly here, this fight has been mostly just mechanics. I've been pretty pleased with what you were doing, just not how you were doing it, basically.
Yeah. I definitely don't have the best aim. I'll be the first to admit
Well,
that.
by mechanics, that's the tricky thing, though. It's not just aim, though. It's how you move. It's how you slam. It's how you use your, whether you're going for a double boop or not. It's whether you're smoothly grappling or not, right? That's the tricky thing about Ball is mechanics is like Tracer, like Genji. It's always not just column A, it's column B, and sometimes even a little column C, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So what you could do is you can look, if you're trying to work on reviewing yourself, you can look at every single engage here. What should you do right here? What's the fastest way to kill this Junkrat?
Boop slam.
Boop slam, right. So grapple, short grapple right here. Boop. Maybe even double, probably not a double boop here, but boop,
do you think I get
slam.
speed in that distance? The reason I didn't go for him is I don't think I get enough speed there.
Well, I'm not sure either. So then what's the second fastest way of getting it?
Hanzo?
Well, if we still want to kill the Junkrat, what's the second fastest way?
Like do the ledge slam?
Sure. You could even back up, shoot a little back up, grapple, try to see if he traps, then slam, shoot again, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's all about like efficiency of execution here, right? Here, very inefficient, right? And that guy lives. Now you hold the grapple, but you don't get the kill. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you can literally boil down Ball once you get the basics of timing. Once you understand the basics of, like, you know, baiting attention and then disengaging, the downtime for uptime, and it really just comes down to how efficiently are you using your abilities. Like right now, would you shoot this Hanzo first or would you slam this Hanzo first?
I pretty much always slam first because it's the element of surprise, but
yes, which you have here. The Hanzo might lunge if you shoot him first. But
right.
like, let's say he doesn't have mobility. I might shoot first. You got a headshot lined up, right?
Yeah.
It's 50, 30, 40, whatever extra damage. You need to be headshotting. Well, unless it's a Hanzo, right? Then the slam is because he'll lunge out, right? So you need to slam him first. So this is good. Shoot. And you did it. Nice. Very basic combo, but you executed it well.
I thought he was up there.
He wanted you so bad. Look at him ride the tire around here. He waits. Wait, that's the wrong Junkrat. I was so confused. Just chills. Okay. Do you have any questions so far?
Not really.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. Best combo here? Same kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Slam, because he sees you. Shoot. Exit. Perfect. Staging on backline. What do you think?
I like this play. I mean, I did it for a reason. I think I can force fade here. I can keep a deep. The junk will probably turn, so then it's a
Sure.
4v3
Sure.
in the rest of the fight.
Sure. You're thinking about cart touch here, I assume.
I am.
Yeah, yeah. And what's the difference between what you did here and what you did here? Remember this on the attack?
I didn't engage the tank.
Correct. You just engaged something that you had a better 1v1 versus. So
right.
I'm thinking that you're going to lose less HP and force more resources. And holy cow. This is going to be really hard for them to touch. And it was. Nice. That's it. That was great.
Thank you.
Shoot. Just a question of 1v1ing, right? How fast are you 1v1ing? Here's a hot take for you. You ready for this one?
Yep.
If you are a Wrecking Ball or even a Diva player, okay? Honestly, even Sigma, okay? You should be warming up in Deathmatch, not Quick Play.
Okay.
Think about this right here. This is a lot of what Wrecking Ball does, no? I mean, this is a lot of what we've been watching so far, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Practice that in Quick Play. Get really, really good at assassinating Junkrats, Genjis, Tracers, Moiras. Yes, Roadhogs and Deathmatch too, right? You know, get really good at killing those targets by just getting comfortable. The only downside is that you don't get the same practice. Oh my gosh, nice. On the maps. But that's, in my opinion, less important than just getting comfortable with the techs themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And worst case scenario, another warm-up that you could do with Wrecking Ball too is pull up a custom game, right? Pull up this map in a custom game and set the cooldowns to like, half and just roll around. Find your slam spots. Find your grapple spots. Play a jungle demo here, right? Perfect. Perfect. You got your little back slam. Excellent. You are getting your revenge here. What do you think?
I think I try to roll through them to prevent them going back and spawn.
Sure. Sure. Now you got to be careful about this right here. Depends on what game you're playing here. Right here. You're shooting a squishy.
Yeah.
But at what range? And what squishy?
His range.
Right.
Both of their ranges.
Right. So you need to be a little bit careful here. Now you could do what you do here, which is shoot and go whoop, hide, and you could hide here, and then roll through. That's a strategy to kind of bait their attention, but just be careful. Because he will win that HP trade. You scuff up grapple.
Yeah.
Play your life, get out, set up. You're doing a good job holding him in choke, though. It's, again, a question of, like, what you're doing makes a lot of sense, but how you're doing it could be so much better.
Okay.
It's like one of those situations where you're like, oh, Ram's killing my backline. Why aren't you killing their backline? And we can kind of see it right there, right? The mechanics just aren't quite there.
When you say that, are you saying like time to kill is not there because I'm whiffing shots, or like just
again
like,
broadly slam, grapple, shots? Yes, shots are a very important aspect. How you're approaching these fights. I mean,
I know
this
what you're
fight,
saying. Like Yeatle doesn't whiff this,
Right, exactly. Yeatle sees 3 people in there. And he hits the grapple. He bounces off the wall and slams. Right.
Yeah.
Then that would have killed them right there. And then now that prevents the Ram from getting the opportunity to kill your backline. It's like watching me play Wrecking Ball right now. I think your fundamentals so far are pretty solid, but you need to keep practicing the mechanics, right?
Okay.
I will say your mechanics are probably better than mine on Wrecking Ball. So you got that going for you. I mean, look at and even beyond that, like, you're clearly a problem. Look at the comp. Right? Reaper,
I find that happens so much, particularly on push. Every time I play push, I win one fight. Sombra,
Yeah,
hog or
yeah,
queen. It
yeah.
happens so much on
Depends on the
pushes.
map though,
Very
because
frustrating.
depends on the map. I think Sombra is pretty easy to play around on Esperanza and New Queen Street because there's a
Yeah.
lot of space for you can hunt her Translocator, take a lot of flanks. Colosseo is a different story though. Colosseo
Yeah.
I think is a little bit harder, especially in that nasty main choke. Just terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Good. But mechanics. What do you think here?
Yeah, I thought he was staying. The Junkrat.
Here's a question. Should you have even grappled where you did? What's the problem in this grapple here?
I might be running up on trap.
Think about it from a tech standpoint. What if you roll here, grapple here? What will this grapple allow you to do?
I could slam without using ledge.
You could, and you could also double boop.
Okay.
Because the grapple will boop them here, but you'll still be able to connect here, right? Go back, grapple again, and slam again. So you would go grapple here, boop, go back, boop again, and then, like you said, you could swing up off of the momentum and slam, right?
Okay.
I mean, that's hard, but this is the type of mechanics that we're looking for you, right?
Okay.
Is your ability to kind of read these situations and read them quickly. And a lot's going to take a lot of trial and error. But this grapple does not allow you to do that. The slam isn't even that bad because it does, I mean, he does rotate away from you, right? And that's fine. Because that's the tricky thing is you're always doing things. You're just not always doing the best thing. And that's kind of like, that's what's going to separate you from you know, a diamond consistently ball, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we want to change. This is all fine. Okay, let's watch a little bit more. Do you have any questions so far?
No, I my only real question would be, do you have any like resources that I could like, or recommended resources for like practicing these techs? Like,
Yeah.
no, and I don't even mean like coach, just like a YouTube video, even, and be like
Yeah.
some Yeetle tutorial or something. I don't know.
What I would do is I would spam the crap out of ball videos like these from balls that you know who are actually, and this is where OTPs are the best. Coaches like me will tell you how to play a wrecking ball. They will tell you exactly what to do with the character, technically, micro-wise, better than I can ever tell you. Okay? And what you do here, but let me give you a disclaimer of how to interpret the videos I just spammed your way. All right? What are you looking for in these videos? Are you looking for a million texts to practice in the game, 7 different things to do? Not necessarily. You're looking for one that you think is going to be the most useful and something that's worth putting your time into, right? We've talked a lot about double booping here. Another one is the wall slam, being able to jump off the wall into a slam, right? Another one we talked about is like making the read about if I do a grapple, is there a time when I shoot before I slam? Recognizing when and where. So what you do is you pick an important tech, practice that tech, and look for opportunities to practice that tech. And then once you get a better hang of it, even just a little bit better of a hang of it, you're more comfortable using it, then you move on to the next thing. I think the problem with videos like these, and this is why I don't do a lot of micro stuff, is that it's very easy to get like overwhelmed with like, I mean, look at that. What is that? 25 wrecking ball techs that video I just sent you, right? Yeah. But how many of those are relevant, and how many of those does like a plat diamond player need to be learning, right? 1, 2, you know? They're fun to learn, and same thing goes with Doomfist. So what I would do is I would just prioritize one of those texts, pay very close attention to how he coaches it, and then go and try and practice that in game, like you would practice your timing, like you would practice your downtime for uptime, like you would practice your ability usage. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep.
Treat it like any other skill. What's even better is you can, if you warm up in deathmatch, or even if you want to keep warming up in quick play, then screw everything but the mechanical practice. Just practice your mechanics or whatever specific tech that you're practicing. Okay, you tell me. Mechanics, right? Your grapple for speed here. Okay, what do you think?
I mean, I like the play. It's the execution's off.
Right. Would you shoot before you slam a bat?
I think so, yeah. Okay. Trying for a shift or something.
Sure. It might be risky because you might exo boots. That's something that you might learn.
Mm-hmm.
But the slam needs to hit, right? Dead center. You almost completely miss, right?
Yeah.
That's the mechanics that we're looking at here. Now out. That's good. Maybe a little bit faster there so you wouldn't have to use shields. But yeah. And then obviously getting off of here. And yeah, this fight's lost. Okay, let's keep going. How do you win this one, Villain? The most efficiently as you can.
I don't know. I feel like I'm in a tough spot right now. This is
I agree.
both BAPS and Soldier's range, so I'm trying to kind of just jockey for position right now more than go for a kill.
Sure. So you're trying to like almost like boop him and kind of take this position up here.
Yeah.
I think this position up here is even better personally.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ah, gotcha.
Might not be what I do, but
yeah, but that's the goal. But you can kind of see even that can be argued to be mechanics, right? Where you kind of were aiming for left and you end up missing the spot, you know, and that's gonna put you in a bad position. Yeah. There's your slam. That's good. Good slam. Probably would retake top right here over going on cart. That way you can kind of roll through, deal with this guy up top, and get your slam on core afterwards, right?
Yeah.
It's like your mid-fight staging here.
Keep thinking I have grapple and I don't.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. It's okay. I mean, you are playing, I would say, oh gosh, top 3 most mechanically difficult heroes in the game. Like, in terms of ceiling, right? Tracer, Widow, Doomfist kind of falling somewhere in those categories.
Yep.
Right? Like, it is crazy difficult. Obviously, uptime. Aha! Let's go. Greatest of all time. Nicely done. Yeah. I think here's the thing, though. You are paying attention to timing. You are setting up nice angles on the backline. You have a solid fundamentals, which is telling me why you're like playing at like what is high plat, occasionally hitting diamond right now.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got at least a baseline understanding. You're not always consistent with applying the macro. You just need to actually get good at this hero.
Mm-hmm. Tough to hear about my best hero.
Well, okay.
I'm joking.
Right.
I'm joking.
Yeah, right.
I can take it. I really can.
But at the same time, you are good at this hero. You're good at this hero in the boring things.
Yeah.
Right? I know a lot of ball players who are better technically, but are at the same rank than you. Because they're terrible macro-wise. They don't understand. They just kind of play deathmatch permanently, right? They don't pay attention to anything. They don't try and bait CC. They don't pay attention to the team's positioning. They like just shoot tank half the time. Okay, well, you did a little bit of that, I will say. But it's the micro that's lacking here. And keep in mind that like it's not necessarily the amount of time that you spent on the hero. It's also like the quality of that time too. Probably wouldn't have greeted for that. You see, there's a really tricky, again, like grace period here. We're like, okay, oh, he's low. Oh, shoot, he's getting healed right here. I need to immediately adapt the shields and get out of here, right?
Yeah.
Because again, like even if you look at this from the macro perspective as well, you're not going to get any help with this. So this is quote-unquote free pressure that isn't totally free. Good. Shoot. There it is. Maybe. I would be grabbing health packs for you. Even just getting a little bit of healing here, like grabbing this mega here before you roll out here. Because I know, again, what you're going to do. You're trying to force resources before they touch. We've seen this before. But do so with your HP, you know? Because you lose too much HP doing that. And that's HP that especially matters because of the status of your HP. Again, mechanics, right? Let's go back a little bit again here. So what do you think you should have done here? If you're going to try and delay their touch, you're full HP, let's say, what do you do? First off, what's the problem with what you do here? It's the right target, but it's the wrong place. Why? You see?
No.
When you slam this Hanzo, who's going to be shooting you?
Hanzo,
and
Moira,
and
maybe junk.
and Ram
Yeah.
and Kiri, right? You remember
Yeah,
when
I
you
think I'm out of the. I think I'm out of Ram Kiri sightline.
maybe you got to be careful though. You got to be careful
Sure.
because Slam Hanzo here, yes, I think, but you got to be careful because when this worked, it's because you were able to isolate like the Moira, and pull a little bit, I think, the junk, right? When you
Hmm.
take this here, you are going to run into this full team. So okay, let's ignore that. Then let's focus on the mechanics. So how would you execute this if you want to make it work?
Maybe just ledge slam there. I
Just
don't
ledge
know.
slam, shoot a little bit, grapple out, right? Something like that. So you mess up the ledge slam, you grapple through. What's the problem with what you're doing right here?
I don't know.
Tough, isn't it? But this is what's the problem. You see behind you?
Yeah.
Your HP.
What? Oh, the junk. Okay.
Right. So when
Uh,
it's a 1v1 that's not really a 1v1, and because your team isn't there, then you're not going to get followed. So just be careful. You
yeah.
miss your ledge slam, you miss your opportunity to go, and so then you just whip out the SMG and start to play, Soldier 76, but you're going to get melted from behind at that range.
Okay.
So just be very careful. Forces
Yeah,
fade. It's
just
fine.
bad.
A little bit goofy, yeah. Slam is good. Adaptive shield's fine. Grapple is good. Let's think about this one mechanically as well. What are you thinking?
Just get as much shields as possible. Big
Yeah.
slam.
Big slam, big shield. Perfect. Now what?
I go for a big roll through.
Sure. I think you should hold grapple here.
Like even after I roll through them.
Yeah. Roll through. Roll back, I think.
Okay.
That would be another opportunity to do the double boop. And by double boop, it's not always saying like the double boop, but holding the spin to win kind of thing, right? I think that's more free damage. And also you can roll backwards, putting yourself on the off angle again, right?
Yeah.
And then even here, right? Right here, maybe hold the grapple, try to swing yourself up, right? So then either you deal with a Hanzo or you get a slam back on top of their team. It's like these split second, like quick mechanical decisions, right?
Yeah.
Hold it, or just slam. Yeah, there you go. Maybe not exactly what you intended, but it works out beautifully.
Oh, no, I meant to do that.
Oh, really? That was tight,
Yeah.
then. That was beautiful. Nice.
Takes us way too long to kill her.
To be fair, it's calling Moira, so. Nice. Okay. Let's wrap this all up because we talked about a lot of things. So general for you, it's going to be about finding consistency with playtime when possible, and then trying out different warm-ups to see what works best for you. Empty map, custom game with low grapple CD to try rolling around in ball, right?
Yeah.
Also deathmatch, something to try as well. Okay. Anything else that you have to add to the general stuff before we get to the ball specific?
No, I mean we only really reviewed ball, so
Yeah.
I'm good with the ball stuff.
Okay, so let's look at the ball stuff. So what are, again, the habits that you need to be working on with ball? We talked about a lot of things.
One that didn't come up in the video, but I know is an issue is the swapping reload in the middle of the reload. Like that's
Reload
a bad
management.
one.
Okay. Okay.
Things we did talk about, just learning time to kill text, like whether it be wall jump or double boop or
Taking a micro tech and improving its execution, but also your decision making when to use it, right? Because we had the advantage of going back slowly and going, okay, well, I think double boop would have been good here, or this was a wall slam available, or you should have shot before you slammed. Oh no, you shouldn't have shot before you slammed because of the Hanzo lunge. You're not
Right.
going to have that luxury. So you need to not only get better at the tech, but also your decision making in the moment about what tech to utilize or how to engage.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's something that you can focus on because, like, I think at least a decent portion of the knowledge is there, but sometimes it doesn't feel like you're fully engaged. So work at fully engaging yourself on maybe not improving my timing, maybe not. I'm not going to mess up some of my adaptive shields, but I am going to freaking kill every squishy that I get onto. I'm going to be so smart and like so lasered in on that. That's something to practice, not only in your warm up but in your games too. Okay. Anything else that came to mind?
You made some insightful comments about micro on like, do you engage with shoot and then slam, or do you just slam right away? That's something I never really considered before. So I'll need to think about that in those matchups.
Mm-hmm. Hold, grapple, mount. Stuff like that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Downtime for uptime. Am I hard committing now? Or am I baiting attention to force cooldowns so I can hard engage a little later? Something to manage, more macro oriented. Does that one make sense for you? Because I know that's something we talked about a lot at the start, but we didn't talk all the way through. Does that one make sense though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else that came to mind? Because this is a lot of stuff here, but I don't know if we missed anything.
I don't think so. I think I just got to come back for Diva Sig coaching next.
Okay. Now, I guess keep that in mind that I guess when it comes to for the TTK techs, right?
Yeah.
It's something that's definitely more unique to Ball, but it's still something that as a Sigma player, working on your mechanics, your ability to hit rocks, knowing the few combos that you have, being really accomplished that I can 1v1 and on block sleep dart every time. Right. Or as a diva, I'm really good at my micro missile management. I only use it up close. I know how to melee. I don't lose people when I booster on top of them. I think every tank having that, being a little bit more selfish in Overwatch 2 does reward not just better mechanics, but better knowledge of your matchups more. Mm-hmm. So your Diva Sig definitely have a lot of unique nuances in how they play, but there are aspects of them that will benefit from similar mindset to Ball.
Okay.
Practicing, either in your warm up or in your game, just, if I'm going to dive somebody's diva and they don't die, should they have died? Could they have died? What could I have done better? If I'm shooting somebody at Sigma, besides just doing better at hitting my shots, was there a better way of approaching that matchup? And a lot of times you'll probably find an answer, or not only an answer, but something that you can actually practice in your games. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well,